How many of you think that going for antenatal clinics is just a clever way to waste your money, waste your husband's money, waste your time, waste your family resources? Yes? Well, many of you would have that for various reasons. I mean, you will have that reasoning for various reasons. I'm not here to debate with you, but I just want to let you know that this is what happens. But before we go into that, there's this woman I met. I served in the hospital. I served this particular woman, and she put to birth normally, quite all right. And then her child got infected, and then she had to stay more days in the hospital and spend much money than she normally would have spent. And what happened? She actually said, I wish I knew. She had the membranes that covered the baby, they ruptured, and she stayed back home thinking that, well, she's going to wait for contractions to begin. And by the time she got to the hospital, it was beyond the normal 12 hours, because once those membranes rupture, that is the protective layer that covers the baby from the outside world, which has infection and many other things you don't want to get to the baby. Once it opens up, it breaks open, water flushes out. No matter the quantity, you should get to the hospital and within 12 hours be delivered of that baby. And if within 12 hours you're still in labor, you should be given antibiotics to take care of that. But she never knew this. She stayed home past beyond that time, and by the time she got to the hospital, the baby was already compromised. Infection had set in, and shortly after delivery, the baby started shooting temperatures. We had to admit the baby, we had to treat the baby. She stayed longer, she spent more. All right, and that was because she never knew. All right, and we are looking about ANC, antenatal clinics. Is it important? What do we do at antenatal clinics? The first clinic is usually very important. Immediately you're pregnant, what happens is you go to your care provider. They see you, they get very, very vital information about you. They get family information about you and your family, blood related diseases that might be in your family that can be crossed over to your baby. All right, so we make a lot of screening from there to make sure that we can eliminate every possible dangers. Have you been operated upon before in your previous pregnancy? What are the illnesses that you as a woman face? Okay, what are the illnesses that your husband faces? Are there some sexually transmittable diseases in your nuclear family? All right, so we are looking at so many things that happen within this first booking. Within the first booking as well, we do an echography or an ultrasound, something that views the baby, views the age of the pregnancy at that time, and more importantly, estimate the date you can put to birth. All right, the time around which, it's always a time frame. Even though they give a particular date, it's usually a time frame, so that if you're within that time frame, you're not scared. But you go far beyond that time frame, please, you should see your care provider, or labor starts knocking on the door way before that time frame. Okay, so it's very important to do that first visit, because you are given an estimated date to know how to prepare towards delivery, to know when to expect your baby to come forth. Not just that, we run a number of tests on you to know your status, to know your blood group, to know your rhesus factor. Do you know some women have lost pregnancy because of rhesus factor? Is actually a property of your blood that can tell whether your blood will fight against your pregnancy, or your blood is going to recognize your pregnancy as its own. With this particular blood property, if your baby is recognized as a foreign particle, your own blood is going to fight against your baby and terminate that pregnancy. Okay, it is a kind of blood group incompatibility issue. All right, we're not going to go into medical terms for it, but upon booking, once you realize this, you can be able to make necessary provisions to sustain that pregnancy and subsequent pregnancies. All this within the first, and we have not exhausted the first clinic. The first session might be lengthy, might be expensive, but it is absolutely necessary. And subsequently, with every visit, you check the heartbeat of the baby. You're being educated on nutrition, water intake, why I should take water, why I should not take water, things I should stay away from. Okay, should I take alcohol? All those things are spoken within antenatal clinics. So it is not barely a waste of time. It is actually a time to invest in your pregnancy, know yourself, and a wonderful time for your partner as well to know what is happening in that pregnancy and how best he can, knowledge is power. Knowledge is empowerment for a better experience and a better life. And once you are empowered, you can better function. Once you're empowered, in this pregnancy experience, you are being taught at clinic the normal things to expect in pregnancy and the things you should not see. Okay, sometimes you might be able to see them once, but you should not see them twice. Sometimes you can see them twice, but so there are just some patterns that you should not experience. And once you experience that, you're being told what you should do while at home before you get to the hospital. And say you never knew all of this, you might result in a very, very costly experience because you hadn't the proper information or preparation or education about your pregnancy. So I urge you with all power, all that I have in me, please, if you are about delivering, still go by the hospital, see where at least where you'll be putting to birth. Let them know that you are there. Let them know let them just assess you, get you more prepared towards your delivery. But if you are just getting into pregnancy or you're midway gone into pregnancy, it's not too late to invest into your pregnancy and still get the best out of it. If you're not yet pregnant, this is still a wonderful video for you to know that you have to program to do your antenatal clinic or follow-up sessions. So we look forward to seeing you in other videos to bring out the best out of pregnancy so that you are better prepared for a wonderful pregnancy experience, you and your partner. Look forward to seeing you in subsequent videos. Thank you.